Are you ready to expand your life and reality? Join us for the next hour with Jamie Bates as she shares life-changing thoughts, techniques, and awarenesses to help you expand your reality.
Hello and welcome. I am Jamie Bates, consciousness facilitator and expander of realities. My mission with my radio show is to create greater awareness of what is possible and to expand you beyond the limitations of this reality. I am grateful you are joining me today. Today, I am diving into the dreaded I don't know. I want to look at all of the places and spaces where you are maybe not allowed to know, or where you auto default in that programming of I don't know. Because the reality is you do know, and you may not consciously be able to know. But every time you say I don't know, you actually give your power away. You actually create these different variable of situations that actually take up more space in your energy, space, and consciousness than if you just truly were able to know. If you really truly could just know the truth about every situation, what would that create for you? Yeah, so today I want to talk about I don't know. I want to talk about number one, uh, why you really want to stop saying I don't know. Uh, what you're actually invoking when you say I don't know. All of the things that you're creating in your universe every single time you choose I don't know. And I want to invite you into that space of always truly knowing. And number two is we're going to do a lot of clearing. Let's clear a lot of these places where you're not allowed to know. Let's go in our energy, space, and consciousness and really truly clear out a lot of these places where you are literally not allowed to know. And let's give you your power back, and let's stand in knowing. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take some nice deep breaths, and let's put our barriers down. Our barriers down, our barriers down, our barriers down, our barriers down. So we're going to expand out. If you don't know what expanding is, you're just going to allow your being to expand, not your body. We're just going to get into a greater space of who we be as the infinite being that we be, truly get into the true space of who we really are. So let's go ahead and expand out. Make yourself as big as the state that you're in, and you're going to go all the way out and all the way down and all the way up. And your being will expand. Your body doesn't have to do anything. You don't have to envision anything. You just have to allow your being to expand. Make yourself as big as the country that you're in. All the way out and all the way down and all the way up. And out as big as the planet that we're on, becoming one with everyone and everything, bigger and faster and bigger and faster and bigger and faster and bigger and faster. And the universe, and the multiverse, multiple universes, times that by a million, 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 all the way out to the space of who you be as the infinite being that you be. Yeah, so today before we even really get started, I want to take a moment here and just talk about some of the clearing that we're going to be doing today. So essentially, the work that I do in this whole expand your reality stuff is really truly getting into the energy, space, and consciousness of who you be. Because that is where all of your points of view, all of your experiences, all of your really, all your belief systems, this is where everything that is creating your reality is stored. Okay? How your life is showing up is based upon the energy, space, and consciousness that you have within your being. So we just expanded you out all the way into the energy, space, and consciousness of who you be. And all of everything that's happening for you is stored within that energetically, right? This is where all of your programming is stored. This is where all of your belief systems are stored. This is where, all of your points of view about this means this and that means that, right? It's all stored within the energy, space, and consciousness of who you be. So when we do clearing, essentially what we're doing is we are grabbing the energy that makes that up. So when I do clearing, I'm going to ask questions, and what you're going to perceive potentially is all of this energy that kind of rushes at your body. Okay, and that's everywhere where you have that energy stored. So when we grab all that energy, and then I say, do you choose to remove it? And you say, yes, I choose that now. What you're actually doing is you're choosing to remove that energy, that resistance, that whatever it is. Like today we're going to be talking about I don't know. Okay, and we're going to essentially be removing these places and spaces in our energy, space, and consciousness where you are not allowed to know. And for me, this would be like where I've made agreements with other people, maybe through lots of lifetimes. And let's look at that like maybe 10 lifetimes ago, I had a spouse who was unfaithful to me. And it hurt me really bad, right? And I was really, really upset, and I was really down and out. We all have those times in our life, right, where we get really down and out. And maybe I said something like, hey, no matter what happens in the future, I never ever want to know again when someone's being unfaithful to me. I never want to know because that was way too much pain for me to endure. And so what happens is, because we live in an ask and receive universe, right? The universe sends beings. I'm going to say, like, we know that we have angels and we have all these different beings, right? Well, there's beings that are in charge of making sure you never make a choice that you don't want to make again, right? There's beings that are in charge of making sure that you don't know something that you don't want to know anymore. So I say, I never ever want to feel this pain of someone being unfaithful to me again. So please, when someone is unfaithful to me, I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to know about it. And so the universe sends me these beings to make sure that I can never see when someone is being unfaithful to me. Now, that was something I personally set up for myself. Now, those beings are hanging out in my energy, space, and consciousness. And if I'm ever in a situation where someone is being unfaithful to me, and maybe that doesn't even just look like in relationship, maybe that looks like in a business deal, because the universe doesn't know. What I told the universe is I never want to know when someone's unfaithful to me. So then when someone's being unfaithful to me in a business deal, or when someone's being unfaithful to me in a relationship, or when someone's being unfaithful to me and I don't know, what's another one, in a trade deal, I don't know, then I literally might not be able to see that because I asked for the universe to protect me from that. And that's what the universe has done. So when we clear that, what we're actually going to do is we're going to release all of that energy. We're going to release all of those beings that are in charge of making sure that, you didn't know, right? And so what we're essentially going to be doing is we're going to be clearing that energetically. So I'm going to say, do you want to choose that now? It's your universe. You get to decide. You don't have to choose to clear that out. I'm going to do like a series of a whole bunch of clearings today to get you really into the knowing and out of the I don't know universe, right? But you don't have to choose any of it. You can just listen. You don't have to choose to clear any of it. So it's your universe, you get to decide. And that's kind of how I look at all of this is, this is my universe, I get to decide. I pose all of these questions to you, and it's your universe, you get to decide. So if there's anything that you're not comfortable in, just by listening to this show, you don't necessarily have to clear it. It's totally still your choice. And let's say even you do clear it. I'll have people tell me, oh, what if I clear something and then I find something out later and, I cleared something that I shouldn't have cleared. Here's the deal. When you clear these energies, all you're doing is you're opening yourself up to seeing the duality of both sides, okay? It's just essentially giving you more information. It's taking you to the place where instead of being blindsided by, let's take that same example of people being unfaithful to you, instead of being blindsided by people being unfaithful to you, you're aware of where people are being unfaithful to you. It gives you information to where you haven't been able to see information before. And so still, like, this isn't going to take your life and, turn your life completely upside down. I mean, let me take that back. It might actually, but it's going to do it in a way where you're going to be able to see everything. And then for me, you just have more choice, right? When you know everything, when you're not in this place where you're not allowed to know, or with any concepts that we talk about in this radio show, when you truly get to see the whole round circle of everything without pieces omitted, no matter where it is or what we're talking about, when we clear things, we're just giving you more information to be able to see the big picture. Yeah, so just take some nice deep breaths there. And just know that when I ask to clear things, all you have to say is, yes, I choose that now. And we're just going to vaporize it out of there. And for me, vaporizing is kind of a fun way to move energy, right? It's kind of a way to release the energy. So when I release the energy around these concepts, all of a sudden, like all the fog is gone. All of a sudden, the place where I maybe couldn't see the truth of a situation, or maybe I wasn't allowed to be aware of something, all of a sudden I get to have that awareness, okay? So for me, none of this is scary. None of this is it slightly strange and unusual? Yes, absolutely it is. But it's really truly just to give you more space and possibility in who you be. It's to allow you to truly see all aspects of everything that's going on in your life. Yeah, and that's the expand your reality. So today, all the shikyu stupidity on consciousness, anti-consciousness, and energy fog around all of this, everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? I have to say is I choose that now. And we're just going to vaporize, 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 vaporize. Yeah, and just allow yourself to really just take that nice deep breath. When you feel yourself taking that nice deep breath and you kind of feel your whole body relaxing, that's when you know the clearing is working. Okay, because it is truly kind of changing things for you. So yeah, just kind of let all that go. So today we're looking at the concepts of I don't know, and these places where you may be even auto-responding in I don't know. When someone asks you a question, is I don't know the first place that you go? Yeah, where's everywhere that you're auto-responding in I don't know? Yes, everything, all of that is. All of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Let it go, let it go, let it go. So I want to bring up, first and foremost, I said, the number one thing here is why we want to stop saying I don't know. So, every single time you say I don't know, what you're actually doing is you're giving your power away to something, someone, okay? Every time you say I don't know. Now just think about that for a moment. If you're saying I don't know even 5 times a day, that's 5 times a day, you're literally giving your power away. One of the things about I don't know is every time you say, I don't know, you almost open yourself up to all these different paths energetically, okay? Because then your brain goes to like, well, is it this or this or this or this? And what if it's that? And then you go down all of these rabbit holes of different information, right? I want you to feel the difference here energetically between feel the space of I don't know, and then feel the space of I know. Yeah, do you feel how much more expansive I know is than I don't know? Feel the difference? I know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know has kind of a weird like smallness contraction on it, right? You know, there's lots of things that you can do to replace I don't know. Like, especially if it's like about a question, like someone says, hey, you know, they're at work or something, they say, what time is, you know, Jimmy coming to make copies? I don't know, whatever, right? Instead of saying, I don't know, say, just a second, let me check. Or, hey, maybe ask Pam, maybe she knows. Or, let me read my email and verify what Jimmy said, right? And then when you're looking at big questions like maybe someone in your family is asking you a question about something, maybe your daughter or your child or your spouse or your parents are asking you, you know, what's for dinner? And instead of saying, I don't know, you say, I wonder what we would like to have to eat, right? There's obviously there's big I don't knows, and then there's small I don't knows, right? The small I don't knows are maybe the everyday things like what are we going to eat for dinner, or you know, what time is Jimmy coming to make copies, whatever, right? There's small I don't knows that are kind of insignificant, but yet still important to stop using the phrase I don't know. And then there's big I don't knows. You know, there's big life-changing I don't knows. Maybe you're going through a massive shift and change in your life. Maybe you're going through a divorce from a spouse, or maybe you're going through a tough time emotionally in your life, and you're having a lot of things come up, and you don't know where your future is going. And that's okay. But instead of saying, I don't know, you want to switch that into a question like, what else can I choose here? What else is possible here? What else can I do here? What would I like to choose here? Especially if you're looking at a big, huge life decision. Yeah, more space, more space, more space, more space, more space, more space. And where is everywhere that you're not allowed to know? Yes. All of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. I spent a majority of my life in I don't know. I lived a majority of probably 30 of my years in I don't know. And what I've discovered is when I can know, when I do know, when I allow myself to perceive everyone and everything, and I allow myself to know what's true, life has a completely different spin on it. Life has a completely different path available for you when you know versus when you don't know. You know, I think it's been huge for me to really do the standing and knowing, especially with my children. You know, my kids don't, I have a 19-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 14-year-old. And my children currently we really don't have any rules. There isn't any you can't do's, you can't haves, you can't be's, right? There's really only choice. And there's this place where they're allowed to know everything. Now, I know that lots of people would have lots of points of view about that, but you know what I've learned doing this work is the number one thing that I help people with is knowing. We spend so much time in this reality not being able to know the truth and not being able to access our own truth, that it was the utmost of importance for me to teach my children that it's okay to know the truth. It's okay to know what you know. It doesn't make you wrong to know what you know. It doesn't make you bad to know what you know. Everywhere you have not been allowed to know what you know. Everything all of that is. Let's go all the way down, and all the way down, and all the way down, and all the way down. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of universes, and can we just choose that now? Sea prize, 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 sea prize. What that has created for my children is 3 very self-aware teenagers who are very aware of how every single choice they make in their life affects others. How every single thing that they choose creates an energy in their life. There's no, I don't know what this is going to create anymore. There's no, oh, I'm going to make this choice and blindly move forward in my life. It's like, oh no, I know that if I make that choice, this is what it's going to create for me. And that's not exactly what I want to create my life as, so I'm not going to make that choice. It actually opens up a whole new paradigm of awareness and a whole new space of possibility for each and every one of them. Because they're no longer making choices from this place of, I have no idea what this is going to create, or I'm going to eat this and I don't know what it's going to do to my body, or I'm going to choose this and I don't know what it's going to create in my life. You know, that space and place where you spend so much time as an adult circling, and that, I don't know, should I quit my job? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? When you know, there's literally no should-haves, would-haves, could-haves. It's like every single thing you choose, you can get the energy of it, and you can actually know what that is actually truly going to create in your life. And when you know what your choices are going to create, all of a sudden there's no more unknown about what you do in your life. There's no more unknown about what you're going to choose. It's like, okay, I'm going to choose this. This is the energy that it's going to create. I may not have the exact, A through Z of exactly what it's going to create, but I know the energy that it's going to create in my life. And when I know what I want my life to feel like, when I know what I want my life to be like, when I know what I want my life to sound like, smell like, taste like, when I have that frequency vibration ingrained in my body and in my energy, space, and consciousness, because I know what I want my life to be, I'm no longer the effect of the I don't knows. I'm no longer creating possibilities with people who don't have my best interests in mind. I'm no longer making choices to support businesses that are doing unkind things because I know. See, what happens when you let go of the I don't know is all of a sudden you know. You know when you go into a business and something feels creepy and something feels not right. You know. You go, oh yeah, it's creepy in here, something feels not right, and you can turn right around and you can leave. You don't stay there and patronize the business and then later find out that the owner was doing something creepy and disgusting and then go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Yes, you did, you knew. You knew, but you weren't allowed to know. Everything, all of that is, all of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. My kids, when we go somewhere, they're the first ones to tell me, we got to get out of here, this doesn't feel right. Or I don't want to go that way, I don't like the vibe of that person. I don't make them wrong. I don't tell them, oh, you're not allowed to know that. Oh, you can't judge people, blah, 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 blah. No, they're not judging. They're standing in the awareness of what they know, because they've been allowed to know, because they don't have to, I don't know. Everywhere you have to, I don't know. Everywhere you're not allowed to know. Yes, untangle, unwind, release. Untangle, unwind, release. Untangle, unwind, release. Untangle, unwind, release. And everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? Vaporize, 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 vaporize. When you're allowed to know, when you are really truly standing in your knowing, there's nothing that you can't see. There's nothing that you can't feel. There's nothing that you can't perceive from anyone. I know that's a scary thought, and I think that's part of the reason why we stay in that I don't know universe, right? Because sometimes we don't want to know. We don't want to have the truth hit us that hard in the face. We don't want to be that responsible for our lives. Yeah, everywhere you're not allowed to be that. Everywhere you can't choose that. Everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. You know, oftentimes I'll help people with things like marital problems, or even issues getting pregnant. And you know, I debated about even saying this today, but I'm gonna go for it, because that's what I'm doing, right? I'm here to expand your reality. You know, I've worked with people who have issues getting pregnant. You know, you go through that gamut of you know, medical thing after medical thing, and they cannot find anything wrong with you. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably because you're refusing information. Oftentimes we create situations like that in our life because there's something we don't want to look at. And you know, the thing about that is it's not necessarily like what you're going to find out is terrible. And I think that's such an important part of realizing that you can know is we spend so much time resisting what we think will be terrible and awful and like this life-shattering information, and oftentimes it's not. It can be as simple as, and this is where when I first started this show, I was talking about, you know, hiring other beings, right? Or invoking other beings by saying things like, you know, I never want this to be part of my reality again. It can be as simple as, like, let's say the last time you were alive, or maybe 3 lifetimes ago that you were alive, you had children, and something terrible happened to one of your kids, and you decided, hey, you know what, this hurts way too bad to lose a child. I never want to, you know, I never want to have children again. And maybe you didn't mean like ever, maybe you just meant this lifetime. Maybe I lost an infant and that was terrible. was a terrible tragedy for me to endure. And I was so sad, and I said, I never want to experience that pain again. I never want to have that pain of losing a child again. And so maybe the universe invoked something. And when I look at the things that the universe invokes to prevent something, especially when you decide you don't want something to happen to you, or you don't, like, let's take again that paradigm of having children, okay? You invoke that energy of I never want to have a kid again because this was too painful, or maybe giving birth was really painful and you said, oh, I never want to go through that again. Because if you've given birth, you know that that's not a very fun experience, especially if you have a terrible birth, right? If you have like a lot of upset and, it takes maybe days. I know my first child, I was in labor for 72 hours, and that was excruciating. That was 72 hours of excruciating pain. And had I decided at that point, okay, universe, I never want to have another baby. I don't want to have another baby. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke that energy of not having, okay? And so what the universe is going to do is the universe is going to send me a being in charge of making sure that I never have a baby. Now, oftentimes the being that the universe sends us is kind of a scary being, because the universe doesn't want us to look at it. It doesn't want us to change it, because at some point we decided we never wanted to have that happen to us again. Okay, so I like to look at these as like a demon energy. They're like a demon. Now, what do we think of demon? We think demons are scary, right? And they scare us. Well, if you think about this in terms of, if I decided I had a terrible birth and I said I never want to have kids again, please, like, I love my baby, I love her to pieces, but I never want to experience that, giving birth again. And then I try to give birth the next lifetime and I can't get pregnant, right? And every time I try to think of the emotional reasons or the reasons behind not getting pregnant, I get scared. Okay, you're getting scared because you actually truly have hired a demon to make sure that you never get pregnant. Now, once you actually look at that demon and you actually clear that demon out of there, you actually truly get to be pregnant. Yeah, everything, all of that is, all of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? Vaporize, 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 vaporize. So if that was you, if you are the one that's been trying to get pregnant and you haven't been able to, but you haven't really been willing or even able to look at the reasons emotionally or inside that you can't get pregnant, maybe you've just been looking at it from the medical standpoint, it's truly possible that actually even acknowledging that potentially you have something around you that's preventing you from getting pregnant can be as simple as a demon energy. It can be as simple as maybe you made a pact at some point that said, I never want to do this. And so that pact is in place and it's not allowing you to get pregnant. I'm using getting pregnant as an example, but you can apply this to lots of different other areas in your life, right? It's not just about getting pregnant. So when you're actually really truly able to look at why you can't, without being scared of looking at why you can't, without truly like running from why you can't, but really truly being able to know why you can't, all of a sudden you get to change that. And that's the thing about anything that's going on in your life. When you stop the I don't knows around it, you actually get to see what truly is there, and you get to know what it is that's preventing you from having what it is that you truly desire. And everything, all of that is, and everything in the way, all of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. There's a whole spiritual and energetic side to us that we're not even taking into consideration when we're looking at our lives. When you're willing to see that energetic side, when you're willing to be present with that stuff that you haven't been able to know, you get to see your life in a totally different energy, space, and consciousness. You get to see that what you've been resisting about yourself could truly be the space that will set you free. The fear you feel when you look at something you want in your life but haven't been able to have can be changed just by being willing to know it. And everything that doesn't allow that for you, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. I do a lot of relationship stuff with people. And when you, for one thing, when you start functioning in this place where you're willing to know, I'm going to tell you right now that you can do relationships so much easier when you can really truly know about someone. In this reality, we don't do that. We meet people, whether it's friends or loved ones or significant others or whatever, right? We meet people and we decide, hey, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, or hey, this is my best friend, right? We don't allow ourselves to know about that person. We decide this person is whatever, the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, the person I'm going to be my best friend with for the rest of my life. Now, that can work out good and it can work out bad either way, right? Because there truly can be a knowing inside of you when you meet someone that this person is a kindred soul to you and this person is someone you're going to spend your life with. And that's great, but you still want to know. You still want to know who that person truly is. You don't want to decide to go in relationship with someone without truly knowing who they are, right? If they're selfish and they leave the toilet seat up and they're never going to change that, it's better to know that up front than to spend the rest of your life being angry at them because they're selfish and they leave the toilet seat up, right? If you just can know that, hey, that's who this person is. This person is selfish. This person is always going to leave the toilet seat up. Can I live with that for the rest of my life? If you can live with that for the rest of your life without being angry about it all the time, and you can just know that that's just not something that's ever going to change, all of a sudden you get to receive the information behind that. You get to be a different space, right? But if you never know, if you never allow yourself to know that, and you spend your whole life married to this person being angry because this person is selfish and leaves the toilet seat up, and every single day you're angry because this person is selfish and leaves the toilet seat up. And I know that it's kind of two different things, but at the same time it's kind of the same thing, right? Then what you're actually doing is you're solidifying that deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into who that person is. And they're never going to be able to change that because that's a projection that they're continuously getting from you. Yeah, everywhere you're doing that, everywhere you're being that, everywhere you're choosing that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of your universes? And can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. We all do that. We all, I'm going to say, go against our knowing, and we decide that we can change that person, right? We can change that about that person. Oh, that will change, that will get different. And we uphold these energies of making them wrong for who they be, instead of just knowing who they are and being the space of having acceptance for that. Okay, this person is a little bit selfish, and this person is probably always going to leave the toilet seat up. I'm okay with that, and I will spend my life putting the toilet seat down, and I will spend my life caring for myself more, instead of being angry for who someone is. right? When you know who someone is, when you know the frequency and vibration that they're vibrating at, you get to actually perceive and receive who they are. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to have to be that person for the rest of their lives. That does mean that they can change that, or maybe they can decide that they don't want to be that person anymore. But if you are making them wrong in any way, shape, or form, and you're still with them, and you're continuously projecting at them that they're wrong, they're never going to be able to change that. But if you know who they are, and you receive who they are, and you have allowance for who they are, they get to choose something different or not, or they can just be that, and all is well. Wow, everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. That's going to change something. Yeah, for real. We resist what we know because we think it means certain things, or we think we have certain expectations. The thing is you can know what you know without having to make anyone else wrong. You can know what you know without truly, what's the word I'm looking for? Without truly, whatever all that is, everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that? Yeah, from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. When you go to knowing and acceptance, it changes everything. When you do know what's going on around you, when you do know what the people around you are choosing, when you do know what your choices are going to create, you shift from being the effect of everyone and everything to being the conscious creator of your reality. Yeah, more space, 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 more space. Everywhere it feels like knowing is painful. Ooh, all the way out and all the way down and all the way out and all the way down and all the way out and all the way down. Everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Everywhere where knowing feels hard, like it's going to be a lot of work. Yeah, everything, all of that is. All of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. Everywhere where knowing what you know feels like it would be difficult. That right there. Everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of universes, and can we just choose that now? Vaporize, 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 vaporize. Once you start knowing, once you start really stepping into this paradigm where you know what is going on in your life, you truly know, it's like everything becomes up-leveled. It's like the space of ease that you have available to you becomes so much greater. It's like the space of everything truly becomes so much greater. It's like I can't even really truly explain how much easier life becomes when you know what you know without making yourself wrong for it, without making what you know bad, without going to this place where you feel scared for what you know. Because all of that is just these like systems and constructs that are set up to keep you from knowing what you know. So where are all of them for you? All of the construct structures, adaptations and mutations in and around not being able to know what you know. Everything, all of that is, can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. You know, I tell my kids all the time, you know, about like how much different this world would be if everyone knew what they knew. Just think about that for a second. If you knew what you know all the time, the amount of choices and possibilities in your life becomes so much greater. And not only that, you never have to protect yourself because you know. You know, I look at my kids sometimes and how aware they really truly are. How they'll tell me, you know, stories about different things and how they knew certain, you know, people were going to do certain things, and it's just like, it just amazes me because I've given them the power to know how much they truly know. You know, my children have a relative on, I won't say, on one of my sides of my family. And this relative is gay. And, you know, my grandma was gay. After my grandpa died, my grandpa passed away when I was very young, and my grandma moved in with a woman like right after that. And she spent her life with a woman, uh, gosh, like 38 years before she passed away. She spent with a woman, and that was just our reality, right? It was uh, you know, it was my grandma and my other grandma. We had two grandmas, right? And my children grew up with that. And so there's another relative that we have that is also gay but married. And my kids are so funny because it's like it's so obvious to them that this person is gay but isn't allowed to be that. And so my kids are always kind of like, you know, I'm going to say holding space, because it's like they can see why they're creating kind of the upset in their life because they're not really allowed to be who they are. And so my kids hold space for something greater to show up for that person, not because they're, you know, truly because they want that person to live the greatest expansion that that person can truly be. And the person's in a relationship that doesn't work for them, and they're, you know, married with children. Not that that's a bad thing. It's the same life that my grandma lived, and I'm thankful for that, because if not, I probably wouldn't be here today, right? If my grandma had chose different. But it's kind of like they want that person to like really accept who they are, so they know that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but when they're around that person, they stand in the knowing that they know that it's okay. I know you. I see you. It's okay. And it's funny how the relationship with this person has changed since they've really started acknowledging what they know about this person. And you know, that's the big thing about knowing is, you know, oftentimes people can't know who they are, who they be. And when you allow yourself to know that and you stand in the power of what you know about them, you give them the space to be able to choose it too. Because maybe it's they can't choose it because I go back to this person, they can't choose it because they feel like they've already decided this life and they don't feel like they can choose something different. And my kids get around them And it's like, no, but you can choose something different. Like, it's okay. You don't have to choose something that's not making you happy. So instead of acknowledging that the life choice that they're making isn't making them happy, they're turning to other substances to kind of numb that unhappiness. And my kids see that too. And we've had plenty of discussions about like how even my kids can see how they choose to numb their life because they can't know this thing about themselves. They can't know that they're gay because they're married with kids, right? So instead of acknowledging that part of who they are, they numb their life with alcohol and drugs. And my kids are like, it's crazy how people will numb themselves with stuff that takes them out of being present instead of allowing themselves to be the greatest expression of who they be. And I know that's not easy all the time to be able to see that in people, but that's the space that's changing this world. I see my kids and I see the acknowledgement they have for that and the space of allowance that they have for that. And I know that by them allowing themselves to know that and stand in that knowing and project that knowing at that person is creating change for that person, whether that person wants to acknowledge it or not. That's the space that's going to change this world, knowing what we know, even when other people don't want to know it, gives us the space to start creating this world as creating something different. I look at my kids' generation and I see that, yes, there are still people that are choosing to do drugs and alcohol to, numb themselves from what they know. But I also see my kids and I see other children who are being aware. And I see that they're changing this world. They're knowing what they know. They're not separating themselves. They're not projecting, I don't know. They're knowing. And within that knowing is a very powerful, powerful awakening. And all the shaky stupidity on consciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this. All of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of the universes? And can we just choose that now? Vaporize, 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 vaporize. We're stepping into such a powerful time. All of these veils and unconscious energies are lifting, and we're seeing things that we've never seen before. Spaces and places are being opened up to us greater every single day. I say this often to my clients and in my groups and stuff, but it's so true. The energy that is available to you is more powerful than it was yesterday in every single day. We are being reintegrated with more and more powerful energies. Now is the time to start knowing what you know. Now is the time to really truly start saying, I do know. This is what I know. This is what I know about this situation. This is what I know about this person. This is what I know about myself. It's time to put away our paradigms of I don't know. It's time to put away the unconscious energies where we weren't allowed to access what we know and who we be. Yeah, everything, all of that is, all of that, 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 all of that. Can we just choose to remove all of that from all of universes, and can we just choose that now? And vaporize, 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 vaporize. You do know. You are a very aware being. All those energies of upset and overwhelm that you may find yourself swimming in on a daily basis will change when you start allowing yourself to know what you know. I just finished up a very, very powerful program that was about, I'm going to say, well, first it was a 30-day program of surrender, and then we followed it up with a 5-week life transformation. But really it was about, the 30 days were about really surrendering to a lot of these concepts that we get, cycled in, of fear and overwhelm and even not knowing, right? And really like releasing ourselves from within them. And then we went through 5 whole weeks of consciously choosing to be present. And let me tell you what, when you consciously choose to be present, when you make being present a priority and you choose every single day to be present, when you choose to be peaceful, when you choose to be powerful, you get to know. So if you're ready to know, I would really invite you into doing that. It's 30 days and then it's 5 weeks. So it's about 2.5 months of daily audios from me that really will change your energy, space, and consciousness. It will really transform your life. I'm doing these radio shows, really, I feel like just to kind of give you a taste of what is possible when you dive into these concepts and you start to really perceive the expansion of who you be. You are an infinite being with infinite choice. And the universe always has your back. I would love it if you would join me and either on my website, on my mail list, or in my Facebook group, Expand Your Reality. Let's go deep together. Let's release you from the constructs that are holding you back. Let's allow you to stand in what you know. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
You have been listening to Expand Your Reality with your host, Jamie Bates. Thank you for listening.